So, I made my first. Oh,
I'm having a beer on this episode.
the hell?
Whoa!
This
Oh,
is
it's
a
a tank
bottle
from-
opener. That's
That's
one of the
pretty
yellow barrels
dope.
from Jaws. I didn't mention this on my vacation topic, but I got that at the Comic-Con. Anyways, Mark, go on.
Bro, this is BS, bro. You should have told us we could have made porn star cocktails for me because I'm not gonna drink a beer.
Well,
And
one
Mark-
day, like I said forever ago, one day we're going to do alcohol, the topic, and I'll just get shit-faced.
Okay.
Something in my eye is bothering me.
Something's in his eye. Mark wanted to tell us that something's in his eye.
Yeah, that's it. No, so I made my. We've been talking about Marvel Snap a lot.
Mm.
Represent
Oh, very good.
wearing the company, and I made my second deck, like my first second deck, because I
Mhm.
only had one for the longest time, and the second deck is all based off of it's based on moving cards. So like I have like the multiple man guy where if you move him from like the middle spot to the left spot, like push him over, he'll stay in the middle spot and then he'll multiply into the next spot. So you'll have two of the same guy,
I see.
and he's 2/3, two
What
two
was,
mana,
what was
3
the name
power,
of the card again?
multiple man
Oh, okay.
or multi man or something. Yeah, it's really fun, and I'm excited to use the deck more.
I just got Nightcrawler.
Very
Oh, he's
good.
cool. Yeah, I have him on that deck. I have Iron Fist in that deck where he can punch someone over. I have what's his name, Heimdall from Thor. He can like you play him. He's 6 mana, 8 power, and when you play him, he shoves all your cards to the left or whatever.
I see.
So like the more you move certain cards, and then Kraven the Hunter. When you shove him over, he gets +2 power. So it's like when you add a card.
So Maddie
to
has
his-
the destroy deck. You have the moving deck.
Yeah, I want to start getting a really good move deck and also I remember I played against this guy who played with Spider-Man, and he was so annoying because Spider-Man just keeps pulling people around and moving and all this crazy shit. So like,
I
want
want Spider-Man more than anything.
Yeah, he's so cool. Or Miles Morales. Miles Morales is like, I think it's like he's like 5'5".
Yeah.
And then so there's something about like, oh, if there was a card moved here last turn, like he costs 0 or some
If
shit.
a card
Crazy.
moves, he goes from 5 cost to 1.
to 1 cost.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And he's a 5 power.
Yeah.
I just got this sword guy. He's 3 mana, 6
Swordmaster.
sword.
Who
master.
Oh,
discards.
he cuts
He
your
just-
thing.
He cuts
Mhm.
one of the cards in your hand.
You know who's
Like,
really good?
Yeah.
Is Lizard. I think I've told you about Lizard.
Oh,
Lizard is
yeah.
like 2/5,
Mhm.
and he stays 2/5 unless he's on a spot with four other.
And that's why I always beat you.
What are you talking about? But also, what's good about him though is if you put him on a spot and people try to counter him by putting a shit ton of other cards there, it's like kind of like a diversion. 'Cause
Yes.
he's only worth 2, so like you can just kind of like
That's a
waste
good
that
point,
and then like
yeah.
just stack the other 2 while the person's worried about that. And if they don't worry about that, then it's gonna bite them in the ass because he's worth 5.
Yes.
So he's a really good card.
Mm.
For those uninitiated, Marvel Snap is a mobile, which actually just came to PC. So mobile and PC, like card game. What's the one you guys like that it's kind of
Hearthstone.
like Hearthstone?
But it's not kind of like
Or
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone if you're nasty.
It's not like Hearthstone.
And I've finally got Mark and Patrick on the wave. If Tony ever hears this, I hope he goes and fucks himself. Because every time
wow.
he sees me playing it at
He
work,
doesn't
he's
like
like, "Are you playing Marvel Strike Force?" Which is a different
Mm.
Marvel mobile game. And I'm always like, "It's Marvel Snap, and you fucking know it, you coward."
I
he's
think
always like,
honestly,
"Oh,
it's funny
Strike
because
Force."
he'd like it if he tried it.
I
know you would.
actually, and this means nothing to nobody who plays Strike for Snap. God damn it, Tony! Don't listen to this, you fuck. But everybody get Marvel Snap and play
My
it.
eye.
I have 2 new decks
You already have like 20 decks. What are you talking
because I finally
So you
got.
have 8 decks now.
I think so because I finally got Luke Cage in the like random card thing. So I finally have that deck now, which hinges on him, and it's fucking sick nasty. And then I also built because you can like find online, like same with like a lot of multiplayer games. Like
Oh, don't
people
do that
Who are into
shit,
like
What?
big ass hair and Patrick's water.
What's your hair?
You know what doesn't have a hair? This Heineken beer. Brought to you by Heineken. We're not, but give us your money. But anyways, so I was kind of looking up like some different
I don't like that.
decks.
I don't like that he's looking up like completed template decks and then basing them off.
I was
of
into
that.
like I was
don't
you know
that.
I was looking
And
up
they're
the
gonna be- They're
meta.
gonna be like so crazy good.
I was
It's
looking up
stupid.
kind of some of the metas, and so the one that I built is what is referred to as a lockdown deck,
Oh, like
which
okay.
hinges specifically, I think, on Professor X
He locks down your
because he
location.
locks down a location, and
I
then
just got him.
Storm is, I think it's 3 cost and 3 power, and she's one of those characters where wherever you put her, it changes the location, and then it's the next turn is the last turn cards can be played there.
So you're basically locking down locations.
So
yeah.
between her and Professor X, you can basically lock down 2 of the locations, and then you use a card. I don't have Nebula, but Nebula would be perfect for
Ooh.
it. But Sunspot, is pretty good for
yeah.
it because every time you end a turn with unspent energy, he gets power. So if you put like him on one of those locations that's locked down, even though you can't add cards there either, all you have to do is just save some energy every turn, and it keeps feeding him.
So if you save 3 energy in one turn, he'll get 3 power?
Exactly. So you can do it in a way where like you're still giving power to a location that you and the other guy can't play it yet if you need to. Sometimes you can just do Storm or Professor X and lock it down, and you've already won it and you're good. So that's interesting. But
So
I
if
didn't
you
get to
don't-
spend
If you don't play on turn 5, you get 5 extra power
to that one card.
to that card. Yeah.
Yeah, but it starts at 0. It's a 1-cost card, but it starts at 0. So it would be one that you would have to like
Ooh.
build over time.
You know who I got recently that I really like is Scorpion. Scorpion, you play him. He's 2/2, but his ability is insane. It goes make all your opponent's cards in their hand -1 power. So your whole hand is all like -1 power.
Yeah, and if you can use him on like when you have the location where it's like on reveal effects happen twice.
-2 power.
You
That's
just -2 power from everything in
unbelievable.
somebody's hand. So it's really good.
Anyway,
Can I take
super
us
fun
off-
game.
Can I take us out of this?
Yeah,
Please.
Yeah. Pulls out a gun.
What's happening?
My brother went to Fan Expo,
Ooh.
Oh.
and he got me this little nifty thing signed by
Oh,
James
I saw
Arnold
this.
Taylor.
Who's that?
He's the voice of Obi-Wan in Star Wars: The Clone Wars,
And a
bunch
million
of
other things
That's-
based
that-
off of this picture.
That's who he's voiced?
He's
Yeah.
voiced all those characters.
Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah,
Ratchet
he's
from Ratchet and
Ratchet, Johnny Test, Fred Flintstone.
Ultimate Spider-Man from.
He's
What?
been Spider-Man.
Is he the only voice actor ever?
He was Leonardo, the best Ninja Turtle, in the 2007 TMNT movie, which also had fucking. Why can't I remember his name? Nathan Drake.
Oh, Nathan Fillion.
Nathan. No.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Why,
You got his
blanking on
autograph,
I'm
didn't you?
blanking
Why,
on
yeah,
his
why am I
fucking name.
forgetting? Nolan North.
Yes,
Nolan
there we go.
North.
Jesus Christ, Nolan North was Raphael in that movie, which is awesome.
Let's show the camera.
Show the
Camera, James Arnold Taylor.
Matt, when you're editing and when it's me in the future editing, zoom in a lot on that.
Zoom in a lot.
I don't think you have to.
Thanks, Kevin. That's all.
Thank you, Kevin. What was I gonna say? There's something I was gonna say.
Oh, I was going to say
can't
something real
remember.
quick as well. It's kind of getting chilly out right now.
Unfortunately,
This time of year. And then also, I'm wearing a sweater because it's chilly out, and I'm still hot as shit in here. So to me, it's like when it becomes like -30 outside, then it'll be room temp in here.
yeah. Yeah, I thought about that because before I left tonight, my parents were like, "Hey, make sure you bring like a sweater or something because it might be cold out later." And I did bring a sweater. I left it in my car,
Good
which
call.
means it's absolutely useless to me now. So when we leave your house, I'm still probably going to be freezing because I'm walking around in a t-shirt and shorts and with my dogs out because I'm not wearing socks.
Yeah.
Ugh, so gross calling it that.
And
Why do you call it dogs?
I don't know. It's fun.
Why is that mic on?
This mic's on.
It is. That's okay. I'll cut all the sound out. We don't have to worry about that. There we go.
Oh, that's why I think I was hearing something weird, like some extra feedback or something.
Oh,
I
it
don't
might
know
have
what
been
was
from
going
his
on.
mic. That's
Maybe.
actually a good idea. We probably should have cut that off anyways. Anyways, is there anything else anybody wants to get off their chest as we finish stretching our legs here?
I've been driving to the. I've been driving on the 401 every single day to go to York.
Yeah.
And,
how's
Every
that
single
like?
day.
What's
It's
that
been,
shit
it's been
show
2 or
like?
3 days.
I'm saying every single day this week.
Okay, go on.
I've been going actually instead of not Tuesday, so not every single day.
So 2
I
days
went
this week.
Monday and then
Today.
today.
He lies.
But it's like I think it's felt like a lot because I go, I drive there and I drive back. So 4 times I've done that drive already, and it's about an hour, and it's not too bad. I actually use the time to like listen to a podcast or listen to some music and just relax. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could get used to it. Like my dad does it every day to go to the airport and shit. So he works there. So yeah, that's been interesting. What?
I just like that nobody had a follow up.
That's
Like
what I
nobody.
I was just it was something that was on my mind.
Nobody had any like not you, but
That's
just
not
that
on, that's
you-
not on me.
Yeah, that's on us. I just found it hilarious that neither Patrick or I had like a single. We didn't have anything to toss the ball
Well,
back
I
to
mean,
you.
you guys don't go on
Well,
the highway really usually.
I went silent, and then Maddie also was silent. So
Mm.
2 Mississippis passed in my head. I was like, yeah, this is it.
Like I had nothing else to say. I was just like it was something that was happening in my
End
life.
of comment. Well, I have one quick thing to get out.
I feel like we're stretching this.
We are
Well, you
kinda
keep saying
stretching this.
Let's just end it, bro.
Justin Timberlake. I'd like to give him a quick shout out, if I may.
He's
Is he
listening.
the guy that sings
Sexy Back.
Okay.
He made
And
Sexy
Mirrors.
Back one of the all-time sick, nasty songs.
the dirtiest beat of all time.
The dirtiest beat ever. I just want to toss out there. He's in like in the top 10 songs of dirtiest beats.
Mm.
Sexy Back might be number 1.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But it's easily top 5 in that top 10. But he might have another top 10 contender.
Okay.
I'm already forgetting the fucking name. Is it Body Back?
I don't know.
What the hell's it called? Shit, I'm blanking.
My phone's always
Hold on. I'm pulling up Spotify. I'm
thinking of Sexy Back where it's like.
Hold on, I gotta find this.
You're
I
thinking
gotta-
of something different though.
That song, by the way, if you listen to Sexy Back, you can't help but make a face. Like you like, that's disgusting.
Oh shit! I
The
typed in
dirtiest
Sexy Back.
beat in music.
That beat is
Hang
so
on,
gross.
Justin.
For some reason, you guys are louder than I am. Like when I talk, I can't hear myself as loud. Is it?
It's because you're losing your hearing.
Rock Your Body. I lied.
Can you play it? Oh yeah, I've heard that before.
Rock away, dance me.
And now play Sexy Back for like 5 seconds and try not to come. That's so gross.
And I came. But I was gonna say, Rock Your Body. That is like, it's not quite.
It's not a sexy back.
Sexy Back.
Yeah.
But I'll say it's not even so much the beat. I think it's more just like, because I don't find him singing in Sexy Back. I don't think that's what carries that song.
Sure.
I think it's the like beat, the instrumentality of it itself.
His voice
but
is-
with Rock Your Body, I think that is like a good, you know, it's in that sick nasty territory. But just the like, don't be so quick to walk away.
Okay,
Dance
before
me,
we
like paired with everything, I'm like, God damn it! Justin Timberlake has just got a lock on the fucking the sexy songs.
And he was great in Social Network as well.
He was.
Okay, you can shut the hell up now, and
Okay.
I'm gonna say 2 things. You're already more than halfway done this beer, and we're only on the cold open.
I'm really pounding this.
What's wrong with
I'm
you?
gonna need to get water at some point.
And this cold open's 12 minutes now. So do we want anything? Do we want to say anything else?
Holy shit!
No, we're good. I'm
That's
good.
yeah, we're good.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to episode 25. That's right, quarter of a century of Wildly Adequate, the show about anything, everything, and usually nothing. I am 1/3 of your hosting crew, Mr. Matthew Arso, and I am joined, as always, by...
Patrick Fahim.
I didn't like that.
Mark.
You know those videos where it's that dude like staring down the camera and it's like really like it's too close
It's
on
tight.
his face and he's doing the like, do you have my coffee order ready? And he's like smiling the whole time and then he does like the,
No, I've never seen that.
I've
you'd
never
know the
seen
guy,
that.
you'd know that you guys would both know the guy if I showed you.
Is it that noise guy?
No, it's like that kind of light skinned dude with like the buzz cut where he's like staring down the camera, you know, and he's like smiling the whole time.
He's the guy who does the videos of like he's like, what would you do if I walked up to you?
Yes.
Or whatever. Yeah.
What would you do if I walked up to you
Yeah.
and asked you,
Yeah. And he licks his lips. So gross. Yeah.
do you want a coffee? Like it's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
shit. It's so fucking
Yeah,
unnerving.
I've seen it.
What the fuck are we talking about? Anyways, welcome to the show.
yeah,
Like,
welcome.
share, subscribe, do the whole thing. Mark took his sweater off. I'm drinking a beer, and Patrick's excited. Mark, take us
Before
away.
you take us away.
Before
Representing Liverpool, baby, to all those Liverpool fans out there. Okay, go on.
take us away.
What's the deal with robes?
Robes.
I don't understand robes. I don't get what the purpose is. I've never seen anyone wear it in my life. And the only person I've ever seen wear a robe in my entire life is Maddie. I've never seen anyone wear a robe.
I can give you a quick answer.
Well, before you do,
yeah.
I want you to just think about why you love robes so much, and maybe if you have a picture of you in a robe, pull it up.
You have
You have the heft.
So I don't have a picture of me in a robe, but here's what I have pulled up. That didn't work like I wanted it to.
A sleaze bag.
No. God damn it. I don't care. I don't
Yusuf.
need the article about him dying. Oh, open image, a new tab. That's my problem. There we go. Probably the most famous man on earth
To don a robe.
to don a robe. Mr. Hugh Hefner. I'm going to have to save this picture for...
Why wear a
later.
robe? Why ever wear a robe?
Here's the thing. Because it's warm and comfortable, because it's a little thicker, like a sweater, but it's also like...
So wear a sweater.
But it's like the pajama version of a sweater almost.
But what would be the advantage over wearing a sweater?
Well, it also covers your legs. It goes all the way down.
Listen,
Wear
you're,
pants.
You're
Wear
ex-
pants.
You're exposing yourself right now. Robes scream sophistication.
This is true. This is
Why?
true.
And if you
But think
if
about
you're
that. Why-
opposing robes, you're opposing sophistication.
No, but think about that. Why are they associated with being sophisticated? Why is that something that they're associated? That's just a societal thing that we just like accept, but for no reason. You look like a fucking just a guy in pajamas.
It's because they're comfortable.
He looks like he's wearing PJs.
Hold on, what's your
Matt-
beef here? People wear robes at home
No, I
to
understand that.
feel comfortable
But why is it sophisticated then?
because
Wearing a
the
pajama-
average Joe wears jammies.
Okay.
So if you're better than the average Joe, you've got the robe on.
It's like a cut above.
Cut
But
above
you
the
could
average
buy
Joe.
you could buy robes at Walmart that already like boom buying a
Yeah, but
Walmart
the average Joe's too lazy to buy that robe. Don't you
Not-
understand?
I don't think so. I just think the average Joe doesn't really care about robes. I've never been like, I need a robe right now. Have you ever thought to yourself that you want a robe or need a robe?
Honestly, I bought
No, you didn't.
I bought my. Let me finish the sentence. No, I didn't. Didn't even finish the sentence. I bought my father
Yeah.
Whoa.
a robe
Whoa.
last Christmas.
Where's it
As
from?
part of his. Where's it from? It was a polo robe.
Prada.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Gooch.
Gooch.
Gucci robe.
love a good Gooch robe.
No, it was like U.S. Polo or whatever. The dude with the.
With the polo
The
player,
cro-
the hockey.
the not the hockey.
He's
The
riding a
golf
horse.
He's riding a
club.
horse.
Yeah.
The golf club.
Or
He's
the-
riding a horse,
With
bro.
the crochet thing.
But it's a horse.
Yeah.
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 So I
Or
got
is
him.
it croquet? It might be. Yeah, I said crochet.
You said crochet. It's croquet. You're right.
What do you wear under a robe?
So can I finish
This
my
is the
sentence?
interesting
Okay,
part.
sorry,
We're gonna
sorry.
get to
Go
this.
ahead, Patrick.
So I bought him a robe,
Yeah.
and I like
Then
after.
now what?
After can I say the damn thing? I bought him a robe.
Very
I
good.
gave it to him.
Yes.
He put it on.
I get all of that.
He
already.
loved it.
Yeah.
I eventually put it on.
Okay.
And I was like, I need this. This is so comfortable.
Why?
Did you get one?
Still haven't gotten.
Tell me why you loved it so much.
Well, there's a few kinds of robes. There's bathrobes, and then
Okay.
there's regular, like soft robes that you don't
You're
wear
talking like
after the
silk
shower.
kind of satin type robe, like a thin
It
robe.
doesn't- Like some of them are like made like blankets almost. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
like
talking about?
like the
Yes.
one that Maddie was wearing, like the furry one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I have not gotten into the bathrobe thing. Because put it this way. Imagine stepping out of the shower and instead of like drying down with a towel, just tying on a fucking robe.
Why?
Awesome.
He's right.
For what?
He
And
is right.
you just sit and you dry in the
He's
robe and you don't have to like
absolutely right.
sit there
What are you gonna
toweling.
What are you gonna do while
You
you're
have to,
doing
like,
that?
towel yourself
instead
off
of
like an
this
idiot.
is crazy. This is crazy. He's right. Instead of toweling off, you put the robe on and then you shave. You do your thing and you're drying
Yeah, then you-
without
yeah, you know
having
what?
to put effort.
Yeah, then you shave, and there's shaving cream all over your neck, and it's falling under your robe. What are you talking about? No one should ever shave with shirts or anything on. It should be because you could have like shaving cream all over your neck, bro.
Very well spoken by a man who's never put a robe on.
No,
ever.
no, no. But I've shaved with shirts on before, and when
It's not a shirt.
no, but I've shaved with clothing on before, and if there's clothing in my chest area, it's gonna drip.
Do you know what a robe is?
No, but even on the shoulders, sometimes you get a little shaving cream on there if it drips.
Then you're a pig.
no, bro. You don't even have to shave. But if you have,
Okay, you're right, you're
if
right.
you have shaving cream all over your neck here, then when you go to shave, sometimes you like go like this, and it flicks onto your shoulder. It's not even like you're being aggressive.
This
So
is
to
why
me-
I just use an electric shaver, so I don't have to worry about shaving cream or any of this shit.
Well,
but you
you're
go on.
strange for not even using any shaving cream. That's gonna cause me immense bumps and stuff. But what was I saying? Yeah, to me, it's like I don't get why you would want to do that. Why would you want to dry off with a robe? Because to me, it's like I'll manually dry off in a minute, like just really quick all over my body. I have like a big towel, and then I'll change, and that's it, and I'm done.
Time-
Why would I extend the duration of having to dry off and just like sit there and relax? Like I can relax after I dry myself off.
Are you a pajama person?
Like full set.
Sure, but even if you just have like a t-shirt that you only sleep in and you never wear out or something.
I wear
like that.
t-shirts and I wear like PJ pants every once in a while. I'm not a set guy. I don't like the whole matching.
No, I don't
set.
need the whole set and the fucking little hat like it's
Yeah,
Ebenezer
the night,
Scrooge.
the nightcap.
Yeah, I don't
like
need
it's Mr. Krabs retiring at the end of the night.
yeah, I don't need the fucking Mr. Krabs drip. Because here's the thing, my entire life have been a pajama person. Whether it was like when I was a kid and I had more like pajamas, or now when I just,
SpongeBob top bottom.
exactly. Now I just sleep in underwear, like no shirt, just underwear.
I can't do that. It gets too cold for me in the morning.
Oh, I love it.
I
But
can't do that either because for whatever reason, my body doesn't regulate itself. Like when I don't wear a shirt, I feel cold even though I'm underneath my blanket. But then I put a shirt on, I'm still underneath my blanket. I'm like, okay, now I'm like good. It's so
It's weird for me. Sometimes I'm hot at night in the summer and I have to take my shirt off, and then in the morning I'll be like chilly because the temperature dropped significantly since. You know,
Sounds like you guys just aren't built the same.
he's built different.
I'm built different. But so here's the thing. So I've always been a pajama person. So I first got a robe when I was like probably 11 or 12 or some shit, and I've never looked back, kind of thing. I just, I just like a good robe, and especially because I am somebody who's, because this was your question earlier where you said, "What do you wear under a robe?"
Yeah.
Two answers. One, nothing. showering and you go butt ass naked, which is dope.
That's so uncomfortable, dude.
Or
Forgive
two,
me. What we can say like birthday suit. We can be like, you're just vulgar with it, bro.
No, but to me, it's like
you're vulgar with it. Okay, go on.
But to actually
You
break
know what?
that,
That's your thing. You're vulgar. Go
but to
on.
actually break that down, imagine being completely naked under there. Is that not going to be uncomfortable for your body? To have like,
It's a blanket, you fool.
it's
Yeah,
like
why-
just
when have you
surrounding
ever-
yourself
It's a
in
fluffy-
soft,
it's like a
fluffy
cloud.
blanket.
dude, when have you ever
Hugging
been?
you.
When have you ever gone to bed completely naked and put your blanket over you, bro? What are you talking about? I don't do that.
I've definitely, not like often, but I've definitely slept naked.
The only time I'm comfortable completely naked is if I'm showering, and that's it.
That's perfect. You don't have to be naked. You can have just underwear on underneath.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was going to be my second thing. Because I just wear underwear, there are times, like tonight's a perfect example. When we finish this episode and I go home, the shorts are coming off right away, the shirt's coming off right away, and I'm going to be in my underwear, sitting in my room, starting to put, you know, the video and audio from this episode together, and I will be sitting in my chair in my
Is that
underwear
not too hot?
and with my robe.
Is that not too hot?
Maybe, but
Furry
the
robe?
advantage with the robe is
Maybe.
leave it open. And now I'm still getting
Yeah,
to
and-
like
and now your-
warm, cozy.
And now your arms
but
are,
I'm
and now
exposed.
your arms are too hot, and your chest is fine.
No,
You're a
it's
ridiculous human
you're
being.
Bro, if you have fur on your arms, you're gonna be hot on your
but
arms.
my robe, the one I have now that I've had for a while, at some point I actually should upgrade. This is a good reminder to get me to upgrade or to a new robe, and a good reminder for you to actually get a robe. Mine's like slightly more on the thinner side,
Okay.
and it's not like
Fur.
furry, fluffy fabric. It's more like it is almost just like a hoodie. And this to me is what's befuddling, is that you are somebody who enjoys a sweater.
I love
hoodie.
I love a crew neck.
But what I don't understand is if you appreciate that kind of like more on the baggier side, the comfier side,
Yeah.
but like warm and snuggly, how you can't understand the like pajama version of that.
I'll tell
in
you
the
why.
robe.
I'll tell you why, because I don't want to be wearing heavy things in my house, even in the winter. I'm not trying to wear a sweater in my house, bro. Because when I'm gonna go to bed, I have a blanket and I'm gonna be hot if I wear something heavy. First of all, second of all, sweaters to me that I wear that like I go out with, like hoodies and crew necks, to me they're like stylish and they look nice. So there's that factor to it. But to me, robes look like bummy, and they're too hot in the house, and there's just no point for them. I would never want to wear. If I'm too hot, guess what I'm doing? No shirt, just underwear. If I'm kind of feeling a little chilly, I'll throw a t-shirt on, a light t-shirt on, or maybe light shorts on, or light PJ pants. There's never a situation where I'm like, I need a robe. That's what I'm saying.
I've pulled up Hugh Hefner again because you're gonna look this man in the eyes
Look
and
at
tell
that
me he
scumbag.
looks
Look at his
bummy.
face.
I was gonna say the fact that you would
Okay,
The fact
unless
that
you're
you would
getting
say
that,
robe-
unless you're getting that exact robe, you look like a bum.
the fact that you say robe and then the word bummy suggests to me that you don't know
Why are
what
you
robes
so
look like.
He's so hung up on the sophistication. Show me a robe that okay, Maddie, show me any of your robes and tell me you look like a boss, dude.
Well, my one that I currently have, which again I've had for many years at this point, has Ultron from Avengers. Like,
Bro,
that's the
any-
design.
is that
here's the thing.
sophistication?
Here's the thing. Any movie, any TV show, if there's a mansion involved, if like the main character, the protagonist, is knocking on a mansion's door, who opens the door? A man in a robe,
And
Or a
here's
butler.
a rich man,
butler
or
in
a
a
butler,
suit.
or a rich man in a
And
robe.
here's what I'm going to double
a
down
butler
on.
in a robe. What are
A
yours?
butler or a rich man.
The butler's in a robe. Like, hey, what's up? Here's what I'll double down on.
Okay.
Varsha and I just watched The Suicide Squad recently because she
Yep.
had never seen it, and
Love
I was
it.
rewatching it for me. You know what's an awesome moment?
Why was that? Okay.
You know what's it felt right. You know what's an awesome moment in that movie when Harley gets brought before the new leader of
Oh,
Corto
yeah.
Maltese, and he comes out of the fucking water in
Drops
like a
the rope.
Speedo, this like, Latin dude, and then he just puts the fucking white robe on, ties it, and he's like, suddenly he's like fully clothed, he's looking good, he's looking slick. It's a robe.
He's right. He's absolutely right. Mob bosses, rich people in movies and TV shows.
Tell me exactly why he put the robe on. What?
it's a sign of status.
And also to
You're
cover
you're
up.
telling me robes are good because they're a status symbol?
They can be a status symbol.
But is that the main reason?
Here's the thing. Okay, here's what we're
It's
getting
one of
hung
the
up
reasons.
on. I'd like
silly.
to be, what do you call it, the mediator between.
May I just say something before you be the mediator?
Please.
It's silly that it's a status symbol.
Yeah.
What about Air Jordans and designer shoes and like the really expensive shoes? What about
I don't
that?
buy designer shoes.
Not design. Sorry, the rare shoes, the Jordans and all those things.
A lot of the Jordans aren't rare. They're just basic colors. They're a little bit more expensive than the average pair, but to me, I just
Little?
like, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, mine was like a couple $100, like $250 or something, which is definitely more
Okay.
expensive than the average pair. But to
Mhm.
me, the quality's good and it looks dope. It's not. I don't necessarily buy it because I feel like it's a status symbol. Like, oh, look at me.
Okay.
I have like. I mean, they're popular for a reason, and I
Okay.
like them. And but to me, it's like I would never wear something like a robe that I see has no function. The shoes, What's the Tell me what the function of a robe is.
Keep you warm and
mediate.
cozy.
Please mediate.
Okay,
now.
so
But
let me
you
be
don't. But
mediator
what?
for a
But
second.
it's not. The thing is, it's not performing a unique function that no other thing does, or very few things do.
So that's
I
the
need
so
one.
that's the threshold.
Bro,
now.
you need
whatever I
t-shirts.
own has to be uniquely
I didn't say that.
I
didn't say that. I just
built
said-
in its function.
I just said there's so many other things that could do what a robe does, and that I'd rather do. I'd rather use. I already have everything that I need to keep me warm. I could wear a sweater if I'm cold, or I
Okay.
could
I guess, but again, it's just a robe. Like a robe is a specific kind of like warm and comfy that other clothes aren't. Let's say,
It
like a
allows
hoodie
you-
is gonna keep you warm the same way, but the
What
robe
robe are you
is more
talking about?
like
Because Hugh Hefner is wearing like a silk robe that's like very thin.
even that
bro,
that
it's
just probably
easy.
feels really comfortable. It's light. It's
Yeah.
like nice on the skin.
Listen, it's easy to like put on and just be comfortable anywhere you sit in your house. You could be chilling, watching TV. You could be sitting, reading a book. You could go out on the porch and still be wearing this thing.
Or a t-shirt and pants. What's the difference, dude?
Have you
PJ
considered
pants.
being butt naked in a robe though, and sitting on a couch, and then like if somebody walks by, they can see your cock and balls hanging out? Have you considered that?
I have not considered.
Here's
that.
the thing. Let me play mediator for a
Okay, play
second,
mediator.
because I think we're hung up on one point of this that I'd like to sort of get at here. In terms of the robe being a sophisticated garment,
Sure.
I don't know if sophisticated is necessarily the right word,
Not in all cases.
but I get what Patrick's getting at, is that depending on the robe, depending on the circumstance, there is a certain classiness to it.
Can I interrupt just there before you do the second point?
Please.
How many people do you guys know that wear dope looking fancy robes and it would add that sophistication? I know you don't. I know you
As
don't. Nobody I know wears a fucking fancy ass robe that's sophisticated.
everyone-
so your point of like,
everyone-
it adds sophistication. It's like, who do you know that has a sophisticated robe?
Everyone we know is
Yeah.
dead broke.
So you're saying only rich people can pull off robes?
I'm saying definitely if you're rich, then you can have a nice robe.
Okay, guess what? We're not rich. So why are you defending it so hard when you wouldn't be able to
Because-
get a use out of it because
Listen.
it's not sophisticated?
As my life progresses and my wealth builds,
So what's okay? Let me ask Patrick real quick before Maddie finishes.
Mm.
What would be your other reason for getting a robe? Or I'll ask you after
The
you
com-
go. Yeah, the comfort. Okay. Sorry.
So I think
I
there
keep
is
fisting your-
that's okay.
Keep punching it.
Keep fisting it. There is a certain classiness that goes with the robe, and not even like the Hugh Hefner robe here. Even I think just like if you just had a solid color, what?
His face. Dude.
That guy lived a
Dude,
life.
what a bag of bones.
If you were just wearing even like a slightly, let's say on the fuzzier side, solid color robe, like an average looking robe, even that I think adds a certain panache to the situation.
But if you're at home, why would you care what panache you have? If no one's with you, you're at home. You're not going out to impress
I don't
people.
think. Listen, I'm not necessarily hung up on the like robe as a fashion statement being
Okay.
a reason
Well, then
for getting it.
let's move
I'm
past
more
that
on the
then.
like comfort thing. I'm just saying as mediator between you two that I don't know if sophistication is necessarily the right word, but
But
it's more than just like a bummy look.
Sure. I mean, I'll take that back. It's not necessarily always a bummy look. It could be nicer looking, but to me, for our purposes of this conversation, like no one we know would ever get a super expensive, fancy, super crazy robe. That's all I'm saying. So for our purposes, our kind of lifestyles, robes are useless because they're comfortable for you guys or whatever. But to me, there's many other things that are equally as comfortable. So to me, the robe isn't something that's a must-have type thing.
no one said.
You know
No
what we have
one's-
to do
no
for
one's
Mark's
saying-
birthday
No,
or
but
for
you're- no, but
Christmas?
you're
No
both-
one's
no, but
saying
you're
it's
both-
first of all, no one's saying it's a must-have.
But then why are you?
Second
wait,
off,
but you didn't.
Your argument of there are many things that serve the same function doesn't hold.
But to me, I'm saying I could wear a comfortable sweater that has like the same kind of material as a robe if I wanted to. Is what I'm saying.
You could.
Yeah. So what's the point of the robe then? If I could just do the sweater. Sweaters are more basic.
Matthew, riff a little bit.
You know
I
what we're
think.
gonna do for Mark's birthday and or Christmas?
Buy me a
Get him a
robe.
robe.
Don't get me wrong.
Maybe he'll
If you got me a robe, I wouldn't be like, I'm not trying it on.
The thing is, you're saying, why don't I just wear a sweater? There's like, maybe it's because of how robes have been marketed, but like there's different settings for different things. You don't wear a sweater just around the house.
Yeah, you do. If it's cold out and it's like winter time, you could just throw on a nice like
This is
Christmas
where
sweater or
normal
something.
people
But to
would
me,
put on a
but
robe.
here's the thing. To me, again, it depends.
How many people do you know
because-
who wear robes, dude?
Bro, I'm not chilling in people's
None
houses.
of-
I'm not chilling in people's houses after they shower and they're just chilling and wanting to like
Okay.
be laid back.
Okay. You think that any of our close friends wear robes regularly, other than Maddie?
Here's what I was going to say, though. I think, again, what we're getting slightly lost in the sauce on is the robe is a, like, I'm at home, comfortable, not going anywhere.
Why not wear a little? Okay, why not wear a
But
light
what you're
t-shirt?
saying about the sweater, even that, I guess. But like to me, it's like put it this way: if I'm sitting at home in jeans and a long sleeve in the winter,
but who would do that?
and I'm like, oh, I'm a little nippy right now. What am I going for?
I'll tell you what I'm doing.
Sweater.
A sweater.
Can I tell you what I'm doing? Is if it's cold, you're saying I'm chilly.
Mm-hmm.
I would take my jeans off because why am I wearing jeans at home when I'm not doing anything? I put comfortable pajama pants on. They could be furry if it's cold out, or they could be a little bit thinner, like cotton. Pajama pants on, and then I put either a light, comfortable t-shirt that's very like breezy and like light on my skin, or if it's really cold, I'll wear a nice warm sweater, comfortable warm sweater. That's it. Why do I need a robe?
The other thing you're not considering is robes offer a certain freedom to your legs that pants don't.
Mm-hmm.
Go pantsless. Just wear underwear. Why do you need a
But
robe?
then if you're chilly,
If you're chilly, then wear super comfortable, like stretchy pajama pants.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
But
they
you're
offer
not-
a certain freedom.
Yeah, but
and
pajama pants-
feel that pajama pants don't offer.
No, but if you have pajama pants that are nice and comfortable and not super tight, you're not going to be restricted in your movement anyway.
Here's
I'm
the
not
other
saying
thing,
yeah,
because I think again, in terms of us getting lost in the sauce,
we're getting
here,
so lost in the sauce.
what
Why?
Mark
This is the
keeps
conversation.
bringing up is, why do I need a robe? And I think that is the key
like the
crossroad
royal-
here.
My key point is, what's the point of robes? Why would anyone ever need a robe?
And here's where we reach the inflection point.
Okay.
At the end of the day,
You don't need it, you want it.
it's not that you need it.
Yeah.
It's that you want it. And that
Okay.
it comes down to a preference thing of, sure, I could wear a sweater. Sure, I could put on a t-shirt or whatever, or a thicker, fucking long sleeve or whatever. But it's, again, I think it goes back to the comfortability, the freedom, and saying freedom, like, just in relation to what we're talking about is so funny.
Yeah.
But it's the comfort, it's the freedom. Maybe it's the class. Maybe it's not the class. But it's just, there's some, put it this way. You said that the robe doesn't offer unique things to like a sweater, for example. I think the robe itself is the unique thing in and of itself. Is it required for every situation? Does everybody need one in their lives? Do you need one in your life? Maybe not.
Are you satisfied with that?
No, man, that's the kind of point that I was trying to make. But at the end of the day, to me, it's like, if it makes you happy, I mean, go for it, But to me, it's just not something that...
It didn't sound like that. It didn't sound like that's the ending you wanted
but
to
again,
get to.
but to me, it's like a part of the conversation is to be like, debate kind of about it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, I understand why people would want it, but to me, it's just like, it's
It
not...
doesn't sound like you understand why people would want it.
No, I'm saying like, I'm not denying that it's probably comfortable.
Okay.
I'm just saying I could be comfortable in other things.
Mm.
But the last thing I want to add before we move on,
Mm.
because you were talking about the
Nightcap.
Ebenezer, Ebenezer,
Yeah.
Ebenezer Scrooge, the nightcap. To me, you know how like in movies and stuff they'll have a nightcap, they'll have a nightgown.
Mhm.
Also, a nightgown's stupid as hell. Why would anyone ever?
Dumb.
That's what I'm saying. To me, a robe is in the same class as a nightgown.
Ah.
Why is it not?
It
It's
is
just
not.
it's just a comfortable night garment that you wear, and it's flowy, and it's not like super tight on you, and it's just comfortable. What's the difference? It's not it doesn't have the-
because
maybe it doesn't have the class.
because the night garment is the like base layer.
yeah, but people wear robes without any other layer.
Robes
underneath.
are 9 times out of 10 not the base layer.
Maddie just said most of the time you have a shirt, or no shirt, and you just have underwear or nothing. So it is the base layer. That is the only layer, other than your skin.
I mean, I don't know how Maddie's
Why would you?
rocking it, but
why would you
yeah.
wear it? Why would you? Whoever wears a robe with full clothing underneath.
I've seen it.
I do with like a t-shirt every once in a while.
Okay. What I was gonna
Anyways.
say.
It's not the main way of weighing it.
Yeah,
Or wearing
I think,
it.
I think that Patrick doesn't quite understand the whole situation. But what I was gonna say is that aside from the nightcap, which I would never wear, what's the point of it? Give me 1 point.
See, now we can agree on something. There's no upside to a nightcap.
Imagine how mentally you're insane. You go to bed and you're like, gotta put my hat on now.
It's like, you know what I need to wear to bed? A hat.
The
It's like
funniest.
that's less crazy than wearing shoes to bed. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the funniest thing is just seeing the frames of like Squidward, Donald Duck, Mr. Krabs like in bed.
All these
sleeping.
characters.
also,
It's on.
I
And it's got
misspoke.
the little ball at the end of it too.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Just for fashion.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm gonna correct what I said. To me, wearing a nightcap before bed is more crazy than wearing shoes and socks to bed. Like that's how insane it is.
Shoes and socks?
No,
Damn,
no,
that's
no.
a pretty tough one.
I'm
That's a close race.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty close race.
Yeah,
like if I saw
probably.
somebody put it this way, you know what? No, this is an easy decision. If I like opened the door and saw one of you guys sleeping
Dress
and you were
shoes.
like in your bed with like shoes on, I'd be like, Well, that's weird as fuck, but whatever. If I walked in and opened the door and one of you was wearing a hat, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I would walk over and take it off your head and throw it right back in your face.
I'd be like, look at this asshole. He's wearing a
Yeah.
hat.
I would take the hat off and chuck it right back at your face and
God.
like wake you up. You'd be like, oh, what? Like you'd open your stupid eyes and I'd be like,
Yeah.
why are you wearing a hat? You're sleeping.
Yeah, you throw something on his head and his hat falls off.
Oh my
No,
God.
but to me, the last thing I'll say is that in that kind of realm of night sleeping kind of equipment, I guess you could say, the one that I want to try and the one that I think is actually probably pretty nice is a sleeping mask. I feel like a sleeping mask is nice because sometimes you get like for me, my curtain kind of like hangs open a tiny bit, and no matter how many times I try to like perfectly block out the sunlight, something creeps through, or there's the light of the little TV thing like logo, whatever. Anyway,
That's the most annoying.
so
thing.
to me, it's like I feel like having a sleeping mask would be like good for having complete black and just like go to sleep quicker, and it's probably pretty comfortable too. You can have like nice ones that are like good on your skin. Anyway, maybe I'll make that a separate topic, like talking about nighttime rituals and
night
stuff.
masks. I thought you were gonna say
Just
this
masks.
specific.
Just the
night
mask. We got to get one for topics that we have like
No, yeah,
blind
so we don't have to wrap
I'm planning
sweaters
on-
around our
I'm
head.
planning on getting blindfolds.
Anyway, thanks for indulging in that conversation.
Wear a robe. Hello, it's me, Matt, from the fucking. I'm editing the episode that you're watching right now. I'm editing it. I just wanted to come on and say really quickly that we were recording this episode and Patrick received a phone call and we managed to record the entire strange encounter. So I've included this as a bonus topic for your amusement. So the audio's not great in some parts, and Patrick's standing in front of the camera for most of it because he's an idiot. But it was a strange encounter, so we included it for your benefit, and we hope you enjoy this weird as shit random bonus little thing.
Normandy Beach.
D-Day was a fucking disaster. Somebody's calling you? Patrick's getting a phone call.
Somebody interrupt.
We're still not into the topic yet.
Should we stop recording?
No caller ID.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, Patrick.
Hey.
What's up?
I don't know who this is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You don't remember me?
You have no caller ID on.
You're Egyptian, no?
I am.
Oh, it's Marina.
Marina?
Yeah!
I'm so confused right now. Mark, speak to Marina.
Yeah, Marina, I recognized your voice after you said you're Egyptian.
I didn't. I don't know who you are.
That's not Marina, bro.
It is Marina, bro.
That is not Marina.
Wait, give me the phone. Give me the phone.
bet my entire life
Give me the
savings
phone.
that's not Marina.
You're being AI
Say
scammed.
something, Say something. Say something really quick.
Wait, what?
Say something really quick.
I just did.
Marina.
Tell us your credit. Tell us your credit card number and the 3 digits on the back.
What's your name?
Say something in Arabic. Oh, you're gonna pretend like you didn't understand what I just said? Say something in Arabic.
Wait, what?
Say something in Arabic, damn it!
Yallah, habibi.
Not Marina.
It's not.
That's
Who
not
is that?
Marina. Who are you? Who's this? Zipty? Zipty? So this, I don't know who this is. Are you gonna tell me who you are before I hang up?
Call me Marina, the way I'm adult.
Marina, the way I'm adult.
Who is this?
I don't know who this is. Okay, I'm gonna end the call now. This was fun though.
Patrick Boussa, whatever.
Patrick who?
Okay, yo, my bad. I think I just prank called the wrong Patrick.
I think
God damn it.
this was fun though. Alright.
Let's hang out.
What are you wearing?
Let's hang out.
What are you wearing?
Who's the other person? No, I couldn't tell.
I don't know. I have you saved as a contact. It says Tinder under it, so I'm guessing they might.
Oh! You dirty dog.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
We're filming a podcast right now.
I don't know who Marina. Well, we have a friend named Marina, but yeah,
Are you actually Arab?
I am actually Arab,
Yeah. Wait, what kind of Arab are you?
Egyptian.
No, I knew it. What the fuck? My man's Tunisian, bro.
Your man's Tunisian?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Why is that interesting? North Africans, you know?
Why is that? What do you mean? Why is that interesting?
Because you're all North Africans.
We're all North Africans. So who's the second person with you?
That's my bestie.
What's her name? You didn't even say your name.
I don't know what name I gave you on Tinder.
I don't
Listen. You
listen.
pretend to be different people.
Yeah, you see different people. What does it even matter?
Okay, my gubby's and that's my
You do sound like our friend Marina though. That's why
She does not.
And we've got your location.
Thanks for staying online.
Thanks for staying on the line. We've got your address now.
You stayed on the line just long enough for the police to find your location.
Yeah, you guys are done. The SWAT team is inbound.
All right.
We're playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
What?
Five Nights at
Playing
Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Why did you randomly say that?
Because I'm about to beat the first night, bro.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's a pretty good
Good
reference.
job.
Okay, we're actually in the middle of filming a podcast. we're actually.
No, you're not.
We're actually.
We
Tell
are.
them to watch it.
I'm
Tell them
actually
to watch it.
doing a podcast for my club at Queens.
You do a podcast for your club at Queens? That's cool.
We're gonna start it.
Oh, you're gonna start it. Yeah, do it.
Wait, where do you go?
I.
Me too. Us too.
Okay, so maybe I match.
No. Oh my gosh, wait, Patrick. Hold up. I think I actually remember you. No, I remember Patrick. Oh my god.
Patrick, you're 5 minutes away from one of these women being like, I've had your child.
Patrick.
What?
I just texted you. Read our conversation if you have it saved.
Are you fucking kidding me? The fucking text popped up.
I don't have it saved, but it says your name's Alex.
Wow, shows he really cares.
Was that
Okay, my
that's a
name's
fake name? Damn.
Hey,
Okay.
bud. I didn't make it past night one.
Tell them to watch our show.
Oh my gosh, no, Patrick, you were so respectful. I was like, you should go for my friend. And then you were like, why would I go for her when I was interested in you first? You were so respectful. But listen, what a gentleman. But it's been a while. I feel like you would really get along. No, we're doing it right now. We're not doing this right now.
Getting sold.
Listen, I'm flattered, but
Wait,
I'm
what
actually.
are you doing? What are you doing?
What?
I thought you were open to new people.
So you're seeing someone.
I'm off the market right now.
No, you're not. No, you're not, dude. He's lying.
Okay, wait, who's the friend then?
Okay, I'm not. Okay, listen. I'm not off the market.
You're gonna change your mind.
Sorry.
I said, well, look at you're gonna change your mind. She's Afghan, bro. Don't say that.
Listen,
Don't say this.
listen. I kind of lied. I'm not off the market, but I'm also. I don't think I'm really open to what's going on.
Okay, it's a friendship. What are you talking about? Don't put a wall.
Huh?
Dude, it's a friendship only.
Okay. Oh, between me.
When you're willing.
Oh, you're saying you want me to become friends?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that's perfectly wholesome and cute.
That's fine, as long as we're clear that I'm the one friend zoning her.
Oh, no. It's not gonna work that way, buddy. Funny, bro. Listen, we can compromise and we can say your friends zoning each other. But I look her Instagram.
Is she's crazy hot?
Do we have a gram?
Okay, give me her Instagram.
Send a picture.
Give me
She's actually hot.
give me her Instagram. What's her
We're
Instagram right
searching
now?
it right now on the show.
I did.
This has to be
You
blurred.
sent it to me? Okay, hold on. So it's I'm just telling my co-host here. Is she private? If she's private, this isn't gonna work.
She doesn't let me post anyway.
Oh.
Click on the username. Click on it.
This is
Click on the
true.
profile. No, just like you don't have to just click on it. Just
Yeah, I
let's-
think
let's
Instagram
click
lets
on it.
you open the profile picture.
click
Yeah,
on it.
we're gonna zoom into the profile picture now.
Doesn't want to do anything, but that's
What are you
okay.
doing to me?
Bro, just zoom in.
Everybody calm down.
It's not gonna be. It's gonna be really low res.
Yeah, it's gonna be low res.
It's gonna be too low res.
It's too low res. Okay, we're gonna need a pic. You're
Inconclusive.
gonna need to send me a picture. Of
Goodness.
If you're interested in seeing more,
I'm interested in seeing. Period.
Yeah.
you're none.
The picture was too low res. I
We
couldn't.
tried to zoom in on
We
it.
tried to zoom in. It was too low res. I'd like to
Science, technology let us down.
Request to follow, then maybe you'll see.
She has 0 posts.
Yeah, well, she has her highlights.
You can slide into those
If
DMs.
you're nice enough, she might accept.
What do you think she means by nice enough? As a human being with a soul, or what you look like?
As a human being with a soul, or for what I look like.
Define nice.
Define nice.
I hear this guy giving you a script.
We
Well,
are
I
on
mean-
speaker.
I mean, you
This
are
is
on
true.
speaker,
This
so-
is true.
If you want to hang out and just study, that's fine. But let's not make this weird.
How are you? How are you friend zoning me right now? I was friend zoning you. Are you kidding?
Okay, listen. No egos here, please. You're all human beings.
Okay,
Let's
listen.
hold on. If I may be allowed to mediate for a moment. Neither one of you friend zoned each other because you don't even really know each other yet. You got to get to know each
Listen,
other.
my Tinder love. I'm going to have to go. We're actually seriously in the middle of filming a show.
Jesus Christ.
And
We can't use any of this.
I know we can't. Okay, see you.
But tell them the name of the podcast so they believe it.
Okay, the name of the podcast is. Oh shit.
Fuck. It's okay, text her.
The name of the podcast is.
The name of the podcast. Just no. You can copy an Instagram link, right?
Yeah.
Send her that.
You know what's funny?
She kind of sounded like Marina to me, bro.
Not even a little bit. I'm gonna tell Marina the story, bro. She's gonna be
She sounded a
offended.
little bit like her, dude.
We, I guess, can we use that?
I don't know, bro. I was like covering the camera for half the time.
Oh fuck.
So when I was behind the camera, we could maybe, but it's not in.
Well, I'll see because we can just bleep the names and like the Instagram part and all that, and I'll just blur the TV where I had it on, and we can maybe use it. Okay, maybe we're gonna use all of that as like a fourth bonus thing.
Oh my God.
Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Dude, what if that's how you met
You know,
your wife?
you know
dude?
what you could do?
Let's
What if that's
talk
how-
now.
You could start it with the phone audio because it'll be better than the mic audio because it'll be like bad
Yes,
quality, but like
yes,
you could
yes.
start.
Dude,
You
what-
can hear what we're saying.
What
at
if?
least.
Why are you shutting that down? Like you weren't like what if it was like a cool girl? Who knows? Why are you like completely shutting it down?
To be, why am I completely shutting it down? It's
Like,
a
We're
question.
on air potentially now.
Okay.
Just by the way.
But I'm just saying like you don't. I mean, she seemed like. I mean, I don't. You can't really see her picture, but she didn't. She seemed like a good looking girl. And then
If this
also,
if this is
yeah.
gonna be on air for those, so you guys aren't confused, I got a prank call from
No.
someone.
I mean on air as in like I'm still leaving all this in. I
Oh.
am not cutting yet.
Okay, go.
So we're still going if this makes it at all.
Sure.
But to me, what I'm thinking is like Patrick has recently told me that like, oh, you know, because me, you, and Malcolm all are in relationships, and then Patrick's the only one who's not. And he was talking about how he wants to find a
He
girl. at
just
some
said this
point.
the other day.
He's been saying it for the last few weeks of like, oh, I gotta get a girl. I want, I want to get in on that. So it's
Yeah.
like now this random situation, like out of the blue, some girls call him, and one of them is like, yeah, let's hang out, like gift from the gods, and he's like, nah.
Patrick, do you believe in
but
fate?
The alternate side is what if she's really, really, really ugly?
Oh.
You saw the picture, and she seemed like you can't really see the detail,
Oh.
but there's no way she's like horrendous.
It was 170. It was 170p, bro.
Here's the thing, Patrick. At the very least, two things. Number one, this is going to be a very white girl thing to say, but do it for the plot. What's the worst?
Oh my god. Merrick said that to me multiple times on a FaceTime today.
Does that surprise you about Merrick, though? Sounding like a white girl. Merrick,
Merrick-
if you're out there, I love you to death.
What's funny?
You're my little white girl.
What's funny is we were talking about something, and then he was like, "Do it for the plot," and I was like, "Yeah, just do it for the story." And then he insists, "Do it for the plot," and he said it a second time, "Just do it for the plot."
Well,
I was
nah,
like,
I'm not
"Why are
getting-
you using the word plot 50 times?"
I'm not going to get too carried away here, but do it for the story in the sense of
Yeah.
it would be an interesting. It would if we do air this, it would be an interesting follow up one day, even just like a cold open of, hey, remember that weird thing a few
What
weeks ago?
I'm thinking is like, what a weird situation. Like, what if that's how you met your partner? That's
Do
crazy.
you believe in fate? But the other thing is,
Do you believe?
in a like not trying to be funny, like in a straight up literal sense. I don't think that's going anywhere, and I think that was just one of those weird, random little life moments. But if it was a genuine thing you were thinking about, one cup of coffee or like study session at a library is not
My
going to kill
goodness,
you.
okay. If I'll reach
I'm
out
not
to her and
telling
I'll
you.
be
Hold
like,
on. Let me be clear. I'm not like saying you should do this or any of that stuff. But I'm just saying if
saying you
this
should.
somehow, if you sent them the Instagram,
I sent them while
I gotta spread my
the
legs.
name,
the name.
so you didn't send the link like I asked you to do.
Not yet, bro. We're just it's happening so fast.
So what I'm
do you
saying
want
though
from
is, in the off chance they somehow go to the social media account and then figure out that you're the one they were talking to or whatever, and then like one of them reaches out, I'm saying if it seemed like it made sense, what's the worst that one hangout could do? But I'm not saying you need to like actively be like, hey yo, like
Listen, the most I'll do is just be like, hey, or not even. I don't even need to text this.
Yeah, let's move on.
Girl.
Let's move on.
I can't believe that.
Let's just move on.
Okay, let's move on. All right, I'm gonna start the topic.
We wrap up the show here. We started with a lighthearted topic in yours, and then I didn't know where we were going next. But Patrick took us down a little more of a serious route. I also have a serious conversation, deeply political, deeply controversial. No, I'm just kidding. Just something that has been on my mind recently. I had sort of mentioned this to Patrick a little bit while ago. and I think I told you about it the other day too. Anonymity or being anonymous online. And no, I'm not talking about Anonymous, the weird hacker group. I'm talking about preserving your identity online, specifically in social media, is a conversation that I have not thought about until too recently, but that was brought up recently, and it was just one of these interesting social kind of questions or thought exercise or whatever you want to call it that has been sticking around in my head recently. And whether or not people on social media should have to display their personal name and picture on social media. So I will give you both sides to this argument really quickly.
But they don't have to. But isn't that the point, that they don't have to? You can
Exactly.
put it.
But there are people who would say
You have to.
you have to.
Okay.
So this is the one side of the argument. The side that, let's say, is against anonymity. The argument they make is Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, a bunch of these different social media sites, Instagram, are all cesspools slowly ruining the world and driving us all insane.
A bunch of trolls, basically.
And they'd be goddamn right about that. They will offer up the proposition that the reason there is so much issue with, whether it's racist things or like crazy shit, or it's just making fun of people or like being a dick online or whatever. The reason so much of this goes around, the reason a lot of these pockets of the internet are so toxic and whatever, is that people can hide behind the screens.
No responsibility.
They can hide behind the usernames, and there's no real responsibility. Every once in a while, maybe one of those idiots gets doxxed, and like their who they are gets out there. Like, sure, that happens from time to time.
But 99.9% of them that are saying like bad things are not going to experience any consequences other than maybe like some hate comments and stuff. But then they're not going to have to deal with any real world consequences.
Exactly. There's no accountability. Which I think is important in this. So the argument they make is if people had to be public with their social media and couldn't remain anonymous,
would it solve that situation?
Would it solve this problem of the toxicity online? Would it reduce, even if not completely solve, would it reduce the amount? Would it make people
I think it would help a lot.
More accountable?
And you know what? I feel like, I don't know where you're taking this conversation, but I feel like that's not even an unfair thing to propose. Because to me, it's like, it's social media. It's not a private, unknown. It's supposed to be you're interacting with people and you're meeting people and you have your information out there. You can make your shit private or public. But to me, it's like you're opting into a social platform. So if you want to make anonymous comments, go onto a server that is only anonymous things. But like if you're in a public social media thing, to me it makes sense to be like, oh, you got to show your actual name or user or your picture, So anyway,
so that is the one side of the argument. The other side of the argument is the side that says, basically in essence, it's simple, is that they are for the right to anonymity.
Yeah.
And they believe in allowing people to remain anonymous and not have to display their thing.
But to me, it's like, if you want to remain anonymous, just don't be on the platform, is what I'm thinking, Like, why do you have to be on the platform? But anyway, continue.
That's not one-to-one with being anonymous.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you don't want people to know you're
saying if you don't want people to know your identity, don't have Twitter, is what you just said.
I'm saying if you want to contribute to certain conversations online, but you want to be anonymous, you just can't be a part of Twitter. Be a part of any other place where you can be anonymous, any other websites and stuff like that. So to me, it's like
that's not where the chatter's at, though.
That's not where I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of conversations on like Reddit and stuff like that, but whatever.
But even Reddit's an example of a site that this could apply to. Of
Sure.
like if people had to say who they were on Reddit, for example, like a name and profile.
So you're saying in this hypothetical, like it would be like, for example, all the social media platforms are doing this thing.
Yeah.
So what platforms are you referring to that are?
I'm just thinking about websites.
Anonymity.
I'm just thinking about websites that have like discussion servers and stuff, including Reddit, but
internet forums.
Yeah, but then why would that
not apply?
Why would that not apply?
Well, that's what
You're
I was
interacting with people. Still.
I was at first I was thinking maybe he was just talking about the mainstream stuff, and I'm like, you can just go on non-mainstream stuff if you really that badly want to talk about something. But
the anonymity side is just in favor of allowing people to remain anonymous and like not have to disclose themselves, because not to speak for everybody, but the idea would be that allowing people to be anonymous, the pros of that seemingly outweigh the cons, as it were. So I just wanted to get into this whole fucking thing. It sounds like Mark has reached a decision.
Not necessarily. It's just that was my immediate, like, again, I don't really think. Sometimes I feel like my personality is not thinking deeply before I say things. But to me, it's like that's my gut instinct to feel like. I feel like if you're going to subscribe to a social media platform, it's not like a governmental organization. It's a private business. And I feel like if they want to reduce bullshit on their website, if they want to reduce super crazy hateful comments, and they want to reduce like all the trolls and stuff that are just saying nonsense just to say nonsense, if they want to do that, they have that right to do that. Twitter has the right to make that decision as a private company. So to me, it's like as an individual, if I don't like that, if I want to be anonymous, I just can't be on Twitter. And I just have to accept that. It's not like it's like it's my right to be anonymous on Twitter. It's like it's not your right. It's a private business.
The problem, dude. There's two things to that. First of all, there's a problem. Oh God, you made me forget what I wanted to say.
I didn't say anything.
Damn it.
All I'm saying is that to me, it's not like if we're talking like privacy in terms of like the government knowing things, that's different.
I found it. The problem with what you're saying is the function of these social media platforms isn't solely just personal and I guess like one-to-one interactions, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
You can like have a meme page. You can have a page that's like dedicated to one thing. It doesn't have to be you. So,
but is what Maddie's saying like is what you're saying like?
And it could go on.
Is what you're saying that there can't be no one can have a meme account that's like to me how I think about it.
Even if it's not just a dedicated meme account, if it's just some guy
who
like follows like a bunch of like Marvel stuff, and then his page is just like occasionally he posts like something about Marvel or something. That's his thing.
So let me ask.
But he wants to interact in the domain where other things exist, like whatever it may be, like trends or.
Sure. Well, in that case, let me ask Maddie some clarifying questions. So, when you're saying like you have to have your name out there, is it one of those things where like everybody who's on Instagram can see your name and picture, like everybody, no matter what, or is it that it's something that like Instagram can see and like on their end?
No, like it's public facing.
So no matter what, you have to have your face on
like
there?
Your Twitter account would be at Mark Mashricky, and the profile picture would be like you.
And there would be no usernames.
But to me, what would be the reason that you, if even say this Marvel guy who's like following a bunch of different movie accounts, Marvel accounts, whatever, why would he be so opposed to his name being out there, for example? I mean, what's the argument against that? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why is that a problem for him?
I guess
if that's a problem for him, talk about Marvel somewhere else. Is what I'm saying.
I guess it gets more. I don't really want to go down this path, but it gets more understandable the more like polarizing the like topic is.
You're saying if someone's saying horrible things, then they should be held accountable.
It could be someone saying horrible things. It could be someone saying things that are perceived as horrible by one group, but not by another. Not horrible by a different group.
But think about it like this:
yeah.
If you're in public and you're in person, face to face with people, and you're talking to them, you're not going to say something that's going to get you punched in the face. And you're gonna be held accountable for your actions. Like people have talked about how when you're like a lot of kids that bully people, they'll say things online, and like Louis C.K. has a bit about it where he'll be like, that feels good, or like I just called this kid a bad word or whatever. But then in person, it's like you say it to them, and then like their face scrunches up and they feel all sad, and then it's like, oh, that doesn't feel good. I just hurt that person. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's the same principle. Like why not apply that to social media platforms where you're interacting with people online, you're talking to people. And if you say something horrible or mean or shitty, you have to deal with the consequences of people being like, that's who you are. I can see your face when you're talking to me. It's like, now you're held accountable for saying those horrible things. To me, it's like people should be held accountable for what they say. People should not just be able to say, like, to me, people should not be able to say anything that they want in the entire world and then have no consequences. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm all for freedom of speech, but I'm saying, like, yeah, say whatever you want, but you can't just say it and then, like, disappear into the wind and no one knows who you are and what you said and like why you said it or they can't. There's no questioning. It's like boom, you're gone. To me, it's like freedom of speech, 100%, and say whatever you want, but you have to be held accountable. You know, like you can't just like insult someone personally and then they don't know who you are and they can't see you, and it's like to me that's kind of like cowardly. And to me, it's more respectable as people to like stand by what you said or be like, you know what, I was wrong, but then like at least you have like, you know, some sort of version of face-to-face talking, but on social media. Because a lot of people have that problem of like, bullying on social media, and people feel more likely, or they feel more encouraged to do horrible things on social media because no one can find out who they are. And it's like, it would greatly reduce horrible things on the internet. And I think that, again, if people don't want to do that, they don't have to do that. It's not like we're forcing people to go onto Twitter and you have to put your picture on here. It's like, don't get Twitter then. You know what I'm saying? Like, do horrible things in other ways that you want, you know? But, like, you can't do these horrible things here because we don't want horrible things here on this platform.
This commie's going to take all our guns.
What you're saying makes sense, and I'm in agreement
Yeah.
with what you're saying. But what I'm trying to sort of get you thinking about is what happens when it's speech that's gray.
Well, no, but what I'm saying isn't that you should be able to tell people you can't say this, you can't say that.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that say whatever you want,
Yeah.
but just know that when you say it, you're gonna have to take accountability. Like, we know what we see you.
Patrick's point, though, is that if people are basically being held accountable for things that they shouldn't be, and because they're out there.
No, but I'm not talking about how to judge people afterwards. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about. Here's how we should look at certain comments. When I'm saying held accountable, I'm not saying like. I'm saying personally held accountable. I'm not saying there will be consequences from Twitter if you say a wrong opinion. I'm like, I don't agree with that. To me, it's like people have different opinions. You can say whatever you want, and I feel like unless it's like inciting violence and doing this horrible stuff, you shouldn't just like get your comment taken down or have consequences because you have a different political opinion than the typical person.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like I feel like you should be able to say whatever you want, but all I'm saying is that the person should have to take personal accountability of like, yep, that was me. I said it. You can't like. I feel like they should be able to have that.
And what we're trying to say is, people want, because there's different kinds of accountability, like we're talking about. Like there's like certain things that if you say these things that are like, again, it's just easy to go to the political.
Okay.
If you say something that's politically controversial,
Yeah. What? Do it. Why not say it? But just know that it's going to be your face, like that you said it. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
So what's the
okay,
problem
yeah.
with that?
Sorry, you made me lose my thought there. You confused me for a second.
The way I
Hold
would
on.
phrase it is if you were a person, let's say, in like a very liberal space, let's say entertainment, for example, whether
Okay.
it's film or video games or whatever. If you were on Twitter and you had to have your name and picture out there, you might like a tweet or retweet or even just tweet out like, you know, going into the next Canadian election, like I'm voting Pierre Polyev, what do we call him, PP. I'm voting PP in the next election.
But to me, the broader problem with that would not be that the person said it, or to me, the broader problem would be that people are attacking people with different opinions. That's the problem.
Exactly.
But that's not.
So-
but that has nothing to do with having your face displayed on there. That's a problem with broader society, not with the platform.
But the point is, somebody who expresses that, like, let's say, right-leaning
Sure.
perspective, for example, who is in a very left-leaning place, it can lead to things of, like, people know that about you and can and might treat you differently is the thing. Like, we're not saying...
when it shouldn't.
but
when it
I
shouldn't
I
be the
understand.
case.
I understand
Whereas that
but-
same person could have tweeted that same opinion from a totally anonymous account, and nobody would have ever known it was them and could then, like, shun them unfairly or, like, be a dick to them about it.
But again, to me, that's not a problem. That wouldn't be a problem with the policy. The problem would be that people shouldn't be judging each other like that and making things super difficult for a person because of that. To me, it's like if you're you could use that same argument with in person. Like what? Like if the person has a right leaning opinion, for example, and he lives in a super liberal place, then like
Yeah,
it's the
but
same thing with in person.
but a person who like it's likely the case that they're engaging in these conversations with their people, with their friends, maybe, and it's not something for work to see. For example,
Okay.
like if it's something that's in your personal life, it has nothing to do with work.
But to me, it's the same. It's just a
But
reflection
then,
of.
but then work decides to take action.
But to me, it's a reflection of reality of like. If you're gonna say if you're in a super liberal place outside in reality,
Yeah.
and you say something that's gonna offend a lot of people that are from a different political, opinion, to me, it's the same thing that would happen online. It's like you get backlash from it. But you should be able to say it. That's your right to be able to say it. And if people are unhappy about that, then they're unhappy about it. You can't control how people react to things.
Sure, and I think I get what you're saying of, like, it's not the policy, it's just
No.
people being dicks, so that if somebody did say, in the next Canadian election, I'm voting for PP,
Yeah.
and then other people online were like, hey, Doug, not random Twitter user, buttfuck, whatever, like, hey, Doug, whatever your last name is, I know you had that opinion and I don't like it, and we work together, or I'm calling your boss, or whatever the hell. And I know that what you're saying is that that's the people being dicks. But the problem is, or what we're saying is, if there was never that needing to put yourself out there in the first
you wouldn't
place,
experience that.
you avoid the whole
but you could
problem.
say that, but I'm saying you could say same thing about real life in person. He could DM privately his family members and talk about all these opinions, right? And no one would ever get mad because it's not out into the millions of people. And he can in person in real life only talk to family, like you said, or friends, and everything would be fine. But if he went out into a place with a lot of liberal people and started spouting some like super conservative stuff, then people would have backlash in person, just like how they would get backlash on social media. So to me, making that a thing where you have to put your name and your picture, for example, is more reflective of reality and real life interactions than just being this ghost and you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want.
But there's a difference in that the person in real life doesn't have any other choice. Unless they're going to go out in like a Halloween costume so that they're anonymous. Whereas the difference with social media is you do have a choice, or it could be set up in a way where you have a choice of being anonymous or not, which in real life you don't.
But yeah, but the question that we're asking is like, should you be able to be anonymous?
Well, this gets to the heart of the issue. And even though I have agreed with most of everything you have said, still cannot feel other than the fact that I am against this.
By the way,
I am for the right to anonymity.
By the way, I will say that to me, even though I'm having these opinions, to me it's not like, I don't think that being able to be anonymous is horrible. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking like, based on everything I know and everything that we're talking about, to me it just seems like, even like when Patrick and I were saying in the beginning, like, I feel like that would help a lot in terms of reducing all that garbage on social media.
Oh, it would definitely help a whole bunch.
So to me, I'm just thinking like analytically and like, yeah, I feel like that makes sense. It reflects more like reality, whatever. But that being said, like, it still would be a hard choice if you made me make that decision of like no anonymity, no one can have it, or you have the choice. It would be a hard choice for me to make. I wouldn't be like, oh, obviously that. But to me, I'm just kind of like, I guess playing devil's advocate because I've grown up with. We all know that you can be anonymous on the internet, you know. So to me, it's like I've accepted that, and that's not something that I've ever found is like super messed up. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm putting my brain into this other place of like, let me consider if things were different, and I feel like it would make a lot of things better. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna like necessarily die on the hill that like it should be this way or that people being anonymous is wrong. Like, I could see both arguments, but I'm just trying to like for the first time formulate why I think the other argument kind of makes sense as well. You know?
Patricia. To me, it's just to argue the other side a little. I just think it's similar to how I think about the like government surveillance question, where like people bring up the point of like, well, if you just let the government spy on everybody, like you'd prevent terrorist attacks or bad things from happening, kind of thing.
That's not a choice, though, is what I'm saying. Like to me, signing up for a social media platform is a choice, but to me, government surveilling you, whether you like it or not, is forced upon you. You can't choose whether the government is going to look into your shit or not. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So to me, that's why it's a bit of a different thing of like, you're choosing to sign up for this thing. And if you see that it says Twitter is a private company, and if you want to use Twitter and say whatever you want to millions of people, you just got to put your name and face out there. If you don't want to do that, then don't do that. But for the government, you just can't help it.
But the thing is, too, with that is social media, in a way, is unavoidable. Like, I know there are tons of people who aren't on social media at all, but like a IGN reviewer for example, like somebody who reviews video games at IGN, if they had to put their name and face out there, and I guess technically a lot of these reviewers do.
All of them do. What do you mean?
They all do, so I guess it would be more independent ones, but that's not the best example. But it's just people, for a million reasons, even for not like political or controversial stuff, having to put themselves out there instantly just puts a target on their backs. And I know the government surveillance thing in this are separate.
Who are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean putting a target on your back? Who?
Like if you had to be on everybody who uses it.
But who's targeting you? I don't understand. Just
like you would be a target to like other people and the public scrutiny of it all and like the real life.
But that's discourse. You're saying that like, oh, like you have a target on your back. We all have a target on our back at all times. If you were to say an opinion that, you know, your film school friends wouldn't agree with, like you're putting you have a target on your back because you're sticking to your guns or whatever.
Sure, but
so what's the difference?
But the difference is online you can avoid that target.
But I'm saying
through the
but
anonymity.
then again, the question is, should you be able to avoid that? Because to me, it's like in person, I don't think you would argue that you should be able to like state your opinion to people and no one knows who's saying it. Do you know
Why
what
are
I'm
you
saying?
treating online? The way you're speaking is suggesting to me that you think that online needs to emulate reality one to
I'm
one.
not saying it needs to. I'm just saying it makes sense for it to be like that because that's how conversations work in person. So to me, it's
Yeah,
like
but why does it ought to be like what it is in person?
because I feel like there's a certain good thing about saying things and having to like be responsible for it and like you stand by what you said.
Sure, if somebody was
It's
out
respectable
saying
is what I'm
like,
saying.
if somebody was out saying like horrible shit, then I get the point of like you should be held accountable to the things you say. But the problem is the downside of that is then you get the people who are again being held accountable for things they shouldn't be.
But that's
held
a different
accountable for.
issue. I'd have a different opinion on censoring or how certain social
But I'm
media
not worried
platforms-
about the censoring. I'm worried that the removal of anonymity allows the censoring.
Why? No, but it doesn't have to be one to one. It doesn't have to be like, oh, so Twitter is now forcing people to show their names and thing, and now they're also like, well, first of all, don't all social media platforms already have this thing of like banning people and blocking people that have different opinions?
Sure,
They're
but I don't
already
even
doing that.
necessarily mean censored in the literal like from Twitter sense. I mean like
Okay.
just other people,
But other
like the
people,
rest of the internet
but you're-
blowback.
yeah, but people have opinions about things, so they should be able to say it, even if you get like bullied by like a bunch of other people. That happens in real life too. You could give an opinion in a group of people, and everyone could shit on you for it.
He's saying it affords a medium in which you can speak and not get shit on.
Yeah, like the anonymity gives you the shield kind of thing to say something that's not the shitty thing, but to just say something. I fucking hated The Godfather. Like just to say whatever you want and not have the blowback kind of thing.
But why is the blowback of different opinions that bad? Is what I'm saying.
I mean, I think it depends on how severe it is. Like when it starts to bleed into real life things of like crazy fucking people where it's like some video game reviewer gave a game I didn't like a game I liked a bad score kind of thing, and then I like followed them home or some shit, or like the blowback just again like in the political sense of like if you're in a very liberal place and like your right-wing opinion, for example, your public-facing right-wing opinion gets you into like hot water because you're out there kind of thing, because it is public.
But again, I know I keep going back to like reality and stuff, but to me, it's like that's always a risk in real life as well. And I know you're saying like, should that not be a risk on social media? I get that, but to me, it's like,
well, I also think the risk is amplified on social media.
sure,
because
you have larger outreach.
the pool of people you might
Sure.
talk to online and say something that somebody else disagrees with you about
is much bigger.
is infinitely bigger online, and they have infinitely more potential. If you walked through the park and sat next to a person on the bench and they were like, "Hi, I'm so and so," and you said, "Hi, I'm fucking Mark," and so you both know each other, you both see each other, blah blah blah. If the two of you are talking and you say something, for example, that offends the other person, they don't know you, you don't know them, what course of action do they even have, kind of thing? Whereas somebody you've never met before, you never will meet, don't know anything about, online can call your place of work and be like, your employee said or did this thing that's really shitty, whatever, you need to fire them, or like get information about you. Like
you're saying that the person on social media would have access to larger information about you. But I'm saying like we're just talking about name and face. That's the same information you would have in person, is what I'm saying. So what do you mean like they can call your place of work? Like how is someone on Instagram getting your place of work, but just from your name and your face?
The thing is that we have profiles.
So
they go to your profile. I think he's saying they can maybe through your followers or through whatever. They can like,
but you can make your
trace a line.
But you can make your account private. You can have your name and your bio and your face, but the account is private. You can't track any of that information.
You're right.
And potentially alleviate some.
Also, yeah. What about private accounts? That could be something where like people can't necessarily look deeper into your information. But again, it's like, okay, let's say like you have like large outcry from an opinion that you had, right? To me, it's like if your account is private, what's the worst that can happen? People on the comments like shit on your comment and being like, "Oh, this is not fair. I don't agree with this." That's debate. That's public discourse. People can disagree. People can be hateful and mean. How you deal with that is a separate issue, and that's an issue of free speech and an issue of what you should be able to say and what you shouldn't be able to say. But that's a different issue. All I'm saying is that the ability to see the name and see the face is not going to be is not going to have. I don't see it having super negative consequences. I see it, improving the kind of clearing out all the nonsense, and then also holding people accountable for what they're saying. You have your own. You're taking responsibility for what you're saying, and then also, what's the worst that can happen if people disagree with you? You're saying like, oh, for people who don't want to deal with that, it's like if you don't want to deal with that, then don't say a super controversial opinion. Like you wouldn't say it in public in front of a bunch of people that were disagree with you is what I'm saying.
Sure, but what about the people who don't say a super controversial opinion, but is reacted to and treated as such?
What do you mean? Oh, like you're saying online?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't help but what people think. You can't help. But I'm saying
This is the thing that's why I get that you can't stop other people,
Okay.
but the point is you could stop them literally if they never knew who you were in the first place.
But yeah, but what do you mean? You could stop what?
Them, like any blowback or the like
What would be
negative
the
reaction.
what would be the difference in blowback? Them mentioning your name in your face in the comment?
Or going after you in a real way.
How would they go after you in a real way with no information other than your name and your face?
So you're saying you're fighting for non-anonymity, which is exactly how social media is, except you're forced to show your name and your face. Matthew's referring to...
Also, I don't like how you guys are... I don't like how you're talking to me as if I'm like not understanding things.
Hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me that's not my intention. I'm sorry.
But it sounds like you're kind of like trying to like talk down and be like, oh, here's what you're not getting.
I'm just trying to
I understand.
paint Matthew's picture.
I
clear.
felt like that throughout the whole conversation. I don't know why. Like you especially, you've been like, for some reason when you talk, you're like, you're not getting it. I'm like, dude, I'm having a conversation. That's just what I felt, so I said it.
Okay. Matthew's referring to examples already of people who decide to show their name and face in the current system. And that's where he's getting his examples from, of all these stories of people getting all this blowback. So you're saying, what can a name and face do? What Matthew's referring to, and the stuff that we hear in the news and the stuff that we see.
Yeah, it's the
I understand.
examples of
Around
like
it.
some
What's your point?
soccer mom who has her like name and face out there.
You're saying that you don't see how it could have negative blowback, but we have examples of how.
I'm saying I don't see how it could have more negative blowback than saying the opinion but not having a face. Is what I'm saying. Because to me, it's like if people shit on your opinion, they're gonna shit on your opinion. But if you have a private account and you just have like it just says Mark in my name and my picture, to me it's like. Also, are we talking about first, last, full legal name, or are we talking about just I can put my first name and my face? Because to me, just because you have my face and you have my first name doesn't mean that there can be real world issues that I'm gonna have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like if you have broader information, you have my place of work, you have
the point.
like,
The
people
point
are
is
connected
if
to me.
something spreads, Matthew's saying, I think he's saying, is that it can get back to that person through a chain of people who know him. Maybe it can get back to his personal life. Is what he's trying to say.
In what way? Like you're saying based on the picture of the person's face?
Yeah, if the picture of the person's face
Okay.
is connected with what they said and it goes all over the place.
But how could it
someone-
but like
Yeah.
like talk me through how it would come back to them is what I'm saying.
So if it's like you put this thing out there and it's someone who you happen to work with sees it and who
Okay.
doesn't agree with you for whatever reason, and goes to your superiors or whatever and makes it known to them, or like gets a bunch of employees at the establishment to like sign some sort of petition against this person.
But to me that would be, for example, if we're
Yeah.
talking about an opinion that wasn't, if we're talking about an opinion that was like a fair, like an opinion that's not like straight up racist or like, you know what I'm saying? If we're talking about an opinion that's just different than other people, like we're talking like conservative versus liberal, to me, someone seeing that and going to their superior and be like, oh, we saw this on the internet, he had this different opinion, and now we want to sign a petition to do this, it's like, they have the right to do that. But if it's really not a comment that, to me, that's like, it would be dealt with in a way that, yeah, it might be stressful for the person, but at the end of the day, like, the ruling is going to hopefully be just, is what I'm saying. But to me, the ruling, it sounds like we're going back to how things are dealt with post. I'm talking about, like, I understand what you're saying, but the odds that it's going to come all the way back to you is very unlikely, in my opinion. And then second of all, it would be like, you know, stressful. But also it's like, I was talking with Maddie about this, like, someone can claim something of you and someone could, you know, claim that you did this or that they did that and there's no proof. And even just them claiming that can harm your life. And that can happen in person, not just online. So to me, it's just like due process. The truth will come forward. Obviously, there's cases where it doesn't, unfortunately. But like, if everything happens as it should afterwards, which is a different issue of like the legal system, whatever. To me, even if someone brings it up to their boss of, oh, this happened, so what? He stated an opinion. People can state opinions, unless it was super. Again, it's subjective, but unless it was like inciting violence or super hateful, then to me it's like the outcome should be that, yeah, he had a different opinion, so what?
So the keyword that I want to zero in on is subjective. You're right, it is subjective.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to sort of highlight, is that gray area where consequences might come despite it not being sort of just kind of thing.
But you could
So
say you could say the same thing.
It comes down to this. Do you think it's valuable for people to have a space to interact without there ever having to be consequence in their real life? Or do you value the reduction of toxicity
I could see that
more? Which one's more valuable to you?
Well, I think it.
I'm just saying that's what it comes down to.
No, and I agree with you, and I think that. But to me, it's like, I feel like there should be a space for that where there's no blowback. But to me, if the private company wants to reduce the toxicity, then they should do that. And I feel like maybe there should be a platform that's like anonymous only, for example. And I'm sure there already are many platforms that are like interacting with people and no one knows who anyone is. I'm sure that already exists. But I'm saying I would be generally in support of the idea of doing that in these big social media platforms. Because I feel like if, again, you so badly want to say stuff that's like really controversial without getting blowback, there's so many other places where you could do that and you can express your opinion. Again, the issue comes back to is your audience bigger or is it going to be like super niche? That's another thing. But I feel like, I agree that I feel like there should be a place where you could be completely anonymous just for that, to have that kind of niche in your life if you want to just kind of like say things. But again, to me, I'm not dying on the hill that like this is absolutely the way it should be and the other way is horrible. To me, it's like, again, I've lived my whole life with the anonymity being a thing that can happen, and I haven't felt like, oh, this is horrible, this needs to change. I'm just trying to put myself in the mindset of like, what if it wasn't like that? I feel like in social media platforms, I don't think I would necessarily feel the difference because I don't really interact like that. I don't comment, I don't whatever. But I could see it being like much more, I guess, like respectful and much more cordial, and people like, people not being, because again, you wouldn't do that in person. So to me, it's like, it's kind of like cleaning up that horrible behavior in a way. But I see what but I know what you guys are saying. To me, it's like, it's not lost on me that that's a valuable thing. I don't think it should be completely taken away in every case. But to me, it's like, it's a private company. So if it was taken away, I wouldn't think that's immoral for them to take it away, is all I'm saying.
Well, the one thing is, when this is usually brought up, the way I think about it and the way I think it gets discussed is more in like a legal, like, what if the government came in and was like, if you run a social media website or forum thing or whatever, like, you have to display your thing on there. Obviously, there would be like tiny little fucking, dark web, whatever, like these pockets of the internet that would like skate around.
We're saying if they did a whole,
but if it was like a legal mandate, this is how it is now. All the social media companies, blah blah blah.
I feel like there's more problem with that then, because then again, there's no choice. You know what I'm saying? Like
the choice is no social media or social media, but you have to play ball.
Okay, no, but I'm saying like, to me that's different than the private company deciding this is what we want to do, versus I would have a problem with the government telling the private company you have to do this. To me, that's not the government's decision what the private company does with its own business and money. That would be a whole different issue. But to me, it's like, as long as the private company is operating within legal bounds and is not doing something that's like illegal and whatever, they can do that, and I feel like it would be fair of them to do that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think they would be within, if Twitter tomorrow, if Daddy Elon tomorrow said he wanted to, Mr. Musk himself, if him, the Zuck, and whoever the fuck owns TikTok.
Bezos? I don't know.
Yeah, let's say it's Bezos, probably him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Amazon.
If like the three of them came out tomorrow with like this unified stance of like, you have to be a public figure, like on all our things, blah blah. I think the companies are totally, I mean, some places might try to fight it and maybe they could make a convincing point, but off the top of my head, I would think they're fully within the legal right to do that.
You'd be like, I get it.
Like, I think you should be allowed to do this with your platform. I don't like it still.
Okay.
And would still be opposed to it. And here's the other thing is, we've also been talking about like, what if somebody wants to tweet something, for example, like negative, or that could be perceived as negative. But I also look at it in the opposite way of like the good way of people using social media and how anonymity can be a shield, and removing that from them. Of like, if you take away the anonymity of like a whistleblower at some company that's fucking dumping all their chemicals into the like ocean illegally or something, or if somebody wants to come out and be like, Andrew Tate sexually assaulted me or abused or anything, and they don't want to put that way more literal target on their backs.
But that's a fair point. But also to me, it's like there are many more avenues to be a whistleblower. like in person and like or like there's organizations for that sort of stuff, and there's I'm sure like if you want to be a whistleblower, there's ways to do that instead of just posting it online on social media. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like if social media was your only place that you could do it, then yeah, I feel like you should be able to because like you're stuck otherwise. But to me, there's other legal recourse that you can have to like be a whistleblower or to say that this person did this to me. You could report it to the police. You can report it to different organizations. Like it doesn't have to be like social media or nothing. So that's why I feel like I get what you're saying, but to me, it's not like a must that yeah.
It's definitely not social media or nothing, but it's definitely like social media and a little bit of other things.
But to me, there's much more.
Because social media is so dominant.
It's powerful, but to me, it's like if there's something like if you want to be a whistleblower, like I feel like if you want to be a whistleblower, then like the internet's not where you should go. Shouldn't it be like to people that have the power to do something about it? I know like the social media could lead to that. But there's more direct paths, I feel like.
Well, it also depends what it is. Like Snowden, for example, when he, did his whole whistleblower thing about all the government surveillance, I don't know the specifics of like if he just, gave it to all the papers or went to the news outlets or if he did it online kind of thing.
He might have posted
But it's like in that instance, in what you're saying of like, whistleblow it to the people who like can do something about it. But in that thing, it's like, it's the federal government. Like it is who we could go to about this is the one doing it kind of thing.
My counter argument to that would be that he could post it on an anonymous server, a different website that's not a major social media platform. I'm talking about major social media platforms implementing this rule. He could be a whistleblower and put it on an anonymous server and on the dark web, and it would eventually spread like fire if it was that valuable information. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So to me, it's like, why does it have to be Twitter, Instagram, whatever that he has to post this crazy shit to? To me, he could post it on other things that are anonymous only, and that serves that function.
Sure. Well, I think the dominance of social media affects that.
I'm not disagreeing completely. To me, it's like I see the pros and cons in both. I'm just like thinking like, what? I feel like that would be a good thing. That might be a good thing. Again, I'm not going to be like, this is the way it has to be. I understand that people like being anonymous on those types of social media platforms, and I get why you would want to. But to me, it's like I feel like maybe in this case the pros might outweigh the cons in terms of making that switch. That's just how I feel, again, without having like researched it or looking deeply into it or being that knowledgeable about that sort of shit. But
sure, it was something I've been thinking about lately, so I wanted to get into it. And it's one of those few issues because generally speaking, I think on a lot of issues, I am a very like, 90-10 split on things where I'm like, yep, this is the way it is. But there are a few like 60-40 issues for me where it's like things that I'm like, yeah, this is my stance. But it's not like
I think I'm 60-40 the other way.
Full disagree. And that's the thing where it's like I do get the calls for the removal of anonymity. Like, again, a lot of what you're saying makes sense. It's just to me, and the way I compare it to the government surveillance thing is like some people would definitely make the argument of, well, if you aren't saying anything wrong or controversial or whatever or blah, blah, like if you're not saying anything that you're not going to get any recourse for.
No, if you want to, but I'm
you're good. And that's the argument people make about the government surveillance thing of like, well, you should let the government spy on you because if you've got nothing to hide, what do you care kind of thing. And I just don't like that.
But one is against your will, one is not. You don't have to sign up for Twitter is what I'm saying.
Sure. I know that they're not apples to apples.
But to me, that's the power. That's the powerful point. That's the difference. That's the whole difference between those two. Because if it was, if we were talking about government surveillance, I feel like I'd have a different stance. Because you don't get to have any choice. Like you're getting watched no matter what. I don't think that's right. But to me, you have that choice to join a platform that is monitored or not. Don't join it if you really hate that. If you can't stand that you can't be anonymous, I'm sure you can find many anonymous websites that are like like that.
I guess, but it's kind of like what we were just saying about like A, how dominant social media is, and B, the idea of like, what the fuck else was I gonna say? Shit. The idea of that, like, yes, you can go to these other things, but it's like you might want to be
a part of
like the biggest thing, or like that might make the most sense for your business or whatever fuck.
To me, the question would be, do you want to be a part of that thing so badly that you would be willing to sacrifice that and then feel like that change that the social media platform, if the change that the social media platform made was so positive, I feel like people sacrificing that little thing would be, or maybe it's not a little thing, people sacrificing that thing would be, I don't know what I'm saying, like worth it, I guess.
Well, what I was going to say, because I remember what I was going to say, is before we were saying like if the government did it, part of what you were saying is that you wouldn't like it because it turns it into either you're on social media or you're not, and if you're on, it's monitored. Like, you're not anonymous.
I'm saying, like, if we're talking about an anonymity with the government versus social media, you have a choice. The government, you're not. That's all I'm saying. Like, the government, you don't. If they're gonna watch you without any choice of your own, I don't think that's right. But
but I'm saying specifically for social media,
Okay.
we were saying that if the government came out and was like, the new law is you have to have yourself a public figure.
The government overpowered the companies, you're saying.
Yes, the government like says like this is the mandate, and you were saying before about like how that's not. You wouldn't like that, and like it removes the sort of choice in it where it's like, well, it's the government saying it, so your choices are either be on these things where you have to be public or nothing, like, so you get it or you don't, kind of thing. And my point is, like, if the 3 or 4, 5 biggest social media companies did the same thing where they just banded together and like were in agreement on it, and it wasn't a government thing, like, to me it's like, isn't that the same
Outcome,
like problem you would have, is that it becomes you can use it the way it's being told to you, or you can't.
No, my point is that if the government's forcing the companies to have to make that decision, that's not fair, because the government is not the company. Their company is its own thing, and it can make its own choices. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about like, it's basically a 3-part thing. Like 1, 2, 3. 2 and 3 would be the same. Like, you either get to choose to do it or not, right? But I'm saying 1 to 2 is the problem of like the government's forcing the company to do it. All I'm saying is, if the company's doing that with their own free will, the company's deciding that's what we're going to do, that's fair, and they can do that, and I don't have any problem with that. And if people don't want to sign up for that, don't sign up for that, and if they do. But to me, the problem would be if the government was forcing the company to make that decision, because that's not their...
So the government thing doesn't actually have any bearing one way or the other on the anonymity part. It's just them doing it at all or not.
Exactly. Yeah. To me, it wouldn't be fair for the government to be like, hey, you have to do this.
Sure, that I'm in agreement with. I don't like the idea necessarily of like the government stepping in and,
because to me, it's very subjective,
do all
right?
this shit.
If the government steps in with laws that we live by. Most of them, like almost all of them, are very cut and dry. You know.
Yeah,
But to me, it's like, this is more of a subjective thing where I feel like if you're a private company, you get to make that decision. Some people might disagree with it. Some people might agree, but you have the choice to make that decision. And people, whether you don't like that decision or not, I feel like they should be able to make it. And I'm able to see why they would want to do that. That's all I'm saying.
The government thing I get more because, when it gets to like that, like that's too fucking government surveillance-y and like, we're watching all you motherfuckers. That's too far in that direction for me. But I don't know. It's just I
see what you guys are saying.
I ultimately am in favor of just giving people the choice.
Sure.
And allowing people to say, like, to be able to talk things out or whatever, like, hey, I'm gay and I'm in an area where that's maybe not that supported, and I'm looking for an outlet to like talk that out on social media, for example. Like, when it's positive things like that, and even like, not the like obviously hateful or like evil shit people say, but like the giving people the ability to like be wrong or like make mistakes or say things without that like hammer coming down of the real world blowback. Like, I see the value in all these things.
That makes sense, actually.
While at the same time being fully aware that if you made it, you had to put your public self out there,
it would
probably clean up a lot of nonsense.
No, but I didn't think about that. That's a really good point in terms of like, because I was saying that society is the problem, right?
Yes.
But that being said, society is not going to get fixed overnight. So
Yes.
to me, that does give people an outlet to like escape from that.
Yes.
And that's just now clicking in my head.
And that's what I was saying before, where it's like, I get what you're saying about like society acting to it. The paper getting wet, or the sink getting wet, I mean, is the society like reacting to it. But my point is, if you just turn the tap off in the beginning of you are allowed to be anonymous, you prevent society from doing its thing, like from ever happening.
I think what my conclusion here is that like, my main idea is that I feel like if the companies wanted to do that, it would be fair, and I would understand why.
Sure.
That's ultimately what my for sure claim is. And then in terms of like the anonymity part of like the actual if that decision is made in terms of people and the anonymity, I feel like I see it's a very close argument. It's not like I feel like one is way better than the other. I see that the anonymity can have a lot of value for people. My only thought is like, I feel like people can get that through many other ways that don't have to be through these private companies. But I get what you mean, that it's like these private companies are powerful, so people would want to talk through them. So it's definitely a double-edged sword, and it is. I kind of agree with you that it is more of a 60-40 argument, and I could be swayed either way. But to me, it's like my gut reaction, because I've never thought about this, but my gut reaction just kind of fell to the other side and whatever. But anyway, it's an interesting conversation.
Patrick.
I got lost in my mic for like a good 10 minutes there, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're looking a little sleepy
What
there,
time?
baby.
What time are we at?
On this topic, we're coming up on 50 minutes, more or
Damn.
less.
So we're almost 2 hours now. Okay.
Yeah, probably, especially if we include that other bit.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick looks sleepy, which is understandable.
Yes.
It's been a long week. And I think we're all a little sleepy, and hopefully you aren't. You're super happy and engaged and awake. Anyways, we're not even gonna go around the fucking horn. That's your podcast. Thank you once again
Bye-bye.
for tuning in to Wildly Adequate. Like, share, subscribe. Do the thing. It's in the description.